In the headlines, Prime Minister Mia Amor Mottley supports parliamentarians' pensions to begin from age 60. Connect Barbados is back after a 6-year hiatus. The ruling JLP gaining ground on the PNP ahead of Jamaica's general elections. And in sports, Hope, King, Warrican and Campbell all named by the Windies for tomorrow's first test against the Aussies.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Tisha Hines with the details to the news. Prime Minister Mia Amor Mottley is supporting the recommendation for the age of eligibility for parliamentarians to receive their pension to be increased from 50 to 60. The report of the Parliamentary Reform Commission, or PRC 2024, which Prime Minister Mottley laid in the House of Assembly this morning, states it is important Parliament's contributory pension arrangements be brought in line with modern realities.
People don't understand that parliamentarians contribute to their own pensions in a major way. But people may not want to leave their monies in the system and may want simply to draw gratuity at a younger age and move. Now, why is this important? This government has made sure that anybody under contract can draw a gratuity not just for a full completed year, but for a prorated portion of the year. And to that extent, I think we need to be flexible enough to allow a person who may have been elected in their 20s, decide that they're only given 10 years, they don't want to hang around, let them take their gratuity and move rather than having to wait to draw either gratuity or pension until, as it is now, 50 or where we are carried to 60.
The Commission endorses members' rights to cross the floor from their own party to become independent and does not recommend that a seat be declared vacant and a by-election held. However, Prime Minister Mottley believes the only probable way forward on this controversial topic is to establish a joint committee to look at the issue of national members of Parliament and other contentious issues.
Recognizing that the Parliamentary Reform Commission, though it had one member of Parliament sitting on it, was not the Parliament of Barbados acting in its own deliberate judgment as to what it would want to see for its own composition and functioning. And in those circumstances, we expect that we would put before both houses and the Management Commission the opportunity to settle the terms of reference of what that joint working group of Parliament should look at and decide for further guidance beyond that which was received from the Parliamentary Reform Commission.
Now, while the PRC is also recommending an increase in the seats in the lower house and that the seats in Parliament should always be of an odd number to prevent a tie, Prime Minister Mottley says this is worthy of further debate.
What I will say is that I believe the Electoral and Boundaries Commission is due to review the seats and the composition of seats that we have and the numbers. But I also have come to the view that we may well have to review trying to keep seats within a 10% variation of each other or 15% variation of each other, purely because it is not practical and the continued redrawing of constituency boundaries is disruptive to communities. I've heard the Leader of the Opposition say that lines drawn through the middle of a road in a community is not the best way, and I agree with that.
However, the Prime Minister does not agree with the recommendation that the President should serve 2 7-year terms.
Our own view is that the current situation of 2 terms of 4 years is preferable to a single term of 7 for all kinds of reasons, including mental deterioration, which sometimes is not always easy to detect, and which, particularly if we have persons who are in their senior years, this is, in the world in which we live, a very real possibility. We have been lucky and blessed as a nation thus far, but as Bajans would tell you, what ain't catch you ain't pass you.
The Prime Minister is also supporting the Commission's recommendation to lower the age of candidacy for both the House of Assembly and the Senate for maximum democratic participation by all citizens. Meanwhile, the Commission considered but rejected the notion of a fixed date of election and does not consider overseas voting or overseas representation in Parliament feasible. And while the PRC is recommending a cap on the size of the Cabinet, Prime Minister Mottley says she disagrees with those who believe the current Cabinet is too big. Meanwhile, Opposition Leader Ralph Thorne took issue with an aspect of the Parliamentary Reform Commission's report. He says the Commission recommends that Barbados introduces a mixed system of representation, which includes constituency representatives as well as 10 national members of Parliament.
Maybe, just maybe, in the minds of some, we are still in the land of the Lords. And the rest are commoners. Well, that is the language of ancient Britain, which survives in Britain today. Are we going forward as a republic, or are we reversing into the depths, the backward depths of Westminster, with a monarchy at its head, with an elitist proposal for parliamentary division that some must come here to this chamber and be called constituency representatives? Or you going to deal with constituency matters, go and deal with street lights and road repairs and the bus service and the all kinds of services, and there will be others who will be called elevated. Or we deal with the nation.
Mr. Thorne says it is untenable for this country to be plodding along without a Republican constitution while claiming to be a republic.
Constitution is of highest priority. No, it is urgent. It is more urgent than what this Parliament is doing today, because what this Parliament does today is an exercise in futility, except that it gives us a chance to examine the anatomy of this government and to find it wanting. Bring the Republican Constitution and bring it with urgency.
Chairman of the National Emblems, Symbols and Celebrations Advisory Committee, Dr. Chelston Brathwaite, says they are currently examining if the island is comfortable with the current national symbols, emblems and celebrations, or if there's need for new ones, given the Republican status. The consultation is set to take place at the Queen's Park Steel Shed this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. He was speaking as a guest on our Morning Barbados presentation.
We are engaged at this point in a national consultation, which we're proposing to have, to hear from the public.
Right.
Because we do not wish our report to be a report of the committee, not our opinion alone, but we wish to hear from the wider Barbadian society. What is their perception of these symbols, emblems, and celebrations, and whether there's room for change? Or should we preserve what we have and continue as we are? And this is the question which we seek to find answers for. We don't wish this committee, or the report of the committee, to be a report of just 10 of us. We would like to engage the wider Barbadian public, including the youth.
Coming up, Connect Barbados is back after a 5-year hiatus. Government is seeking greater insight into how visitors to the island are spending their money. To accomplish this, the Ministry of Tourism and International Transport has established a visitors spend task force. Minister of Tourism and International Transport Ian Gooding-Edgell says the overarching goal of the initiative is to ensure that every aspect of the visitor journey, from accommodation to dining to cultural engagement and community experiences, translate into meaningful and widespread economic benefit. The minister was speaking at the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.'s Connect Barbados 2025 being held at Wyndham, Barbados.
The task force will focus on creating more avenues for spend across local businesses, attractions, and services. By doing so, we aim to stimulate inclusive, sustainable growth and deepen the impact of tourism. Naturally, as we focus on maximizing visitor expenditure, we must also ensure that quality and diversity of tourism offerings meet the evolving expectations of both travelers and the global travel trade.
The minister adds the ministry is also undertaking an attractions competitive study and roadmap report designed to revitalize the tourism landscape and drive increased visitor engagement.
This policy focuses on enriching the overall visitor experience, targeting high-value markets, and stimulating economic growth through the development of differentiated attractions, improve and supporting infrastructure. This would include immersive hiking experiences at Mount Hillaby and a cultural storytelling along Rihanna Drive, implemented through targeted public-private partnerships with investment scales ranging from $10,000 to $500,000. These initiatives aim to enhance the experiential value of the destination and strengthen our competitiveness. As we work to ensure the island's attractions, it is equally important that we deepen the economic value chain behind those experiences.
Meanwhile, Connect Barbados 2025 got underway with a spectacular reception at the state's Rum Visitors Center. This forum is the premier business-to-business marketplace event for tour operators selling Barbados holiday products. The reception included a taste of cropover with dancers, stiltmen, tuck, and a live band. Director of BTMI USA, Peter Mears, opened the event, which is being held locally after a 6-year hiatus.
This event was created to connect the world to Barbados and to connect Barbados with the world. And so with all of you here tonight, we are essentially writing the next chapter in our story together. This year, our theme, From Street to Chic, is a proud nod to the heartbeat of our destination and our culinary culture. Barbados is home to more than 400 restaurants and eateries, each telling its own unique story. From the corner rum shops serving flying fish cutters to the award-winning fine dining establishments presenting elevated island cuisine, our food scene is a living expression of who we are.
Meanwhile, tourism stakeholders in all of the island's major source markets, the UK, the USA, Canada, Europe, and Caribbean and Latin America, were invited to partake and enjoy what's on offer.
We proudly boast and assert that we are the culinary capital of the Caribbean. And it's not just a claim, it's a distinction that has been recognized by the World Culinary Awards, where our very own Barbados Food and Rum Festival was voted Caribbean's best culinary festival for 2 consecutive years. And I'm delighted to share that we are once again nominated for 2025. Your presence here this week is a testament to your confidence in Destination Barbados and to the value of face-to-face connections. We're hosting one of the largest turnouts, with over 500 scheduled business meetings between partners, and that demand speaks volume. In fact, we are approaching pre-pandemic numbers, which is a remarkable achievement for our first post-COVID Connect Barbados.
Now for a story that's been garnering much attention across social media. Police have detained a suspect following a theft at Colombian Emeralds at Bridgetown Duty Free. CBC News understands that just after midday today, a young man ran off with a piece of jewelry after pretending to be interested in buying it. Officers on patrol pursued the suspect as he ran towards Swan Street with assistance from civilians. He was apprehended and taken to the nearby Central Police Station. Bridgetown Duty Free closed its doors for the remainder of the day.
Sports Night, brought to you with the compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL.
Time now to head over to the Sports Center with Damien Best.
Yes, good evening to you, Tisha. Good evening to our viewers and listeners. Well, the stage is set for the opening test match between the West Indies and Australia, which starts tomorrow here in Barbados at Kensington Oval. Both teams named their playing 11s during a media conference today at the region's Mecca. CBC's Anne Margaret Boyce was there.
In less than 24 hours here at the iconic Kensington Oval, it will be the dawn of a new era in West Indies cricket, and one that fans will be hoping is a bit more successful when the West Indies take on the #1 test playing nation, Australia. Barbadian all-rounder Roston Chase begins his tenure as skipper on his home ground against a vulnerable Australia team, fresh from defeat against South Africa in the World Test Championship final at Lord's. The visitors are without the likes of star batsman Steve Smith, who is injured, and Marnus Labuschagne, who has been dropped from the squad. Speaking during a pre-series media conference this morning, Chase, who will be playing his 50th Test match, is ready for the new challenge and is hoping to bring an attractive brand of cricket to the team for the fans.
You can expect positive cricket from us. I mean, as I said, the game is evolving, so we're looking to play with a bit more flair and bring back that Caribbean style to the game. And we're just looking forward to making the Caribbean nation proud. And I just want to ask the fans to just support the boys through and through. Whether we win, we lose, we draw, whatever happens, just support and wish the best for the guys.
Meantime, Australia captain Pat Cummins is optimistic about the first test and told journalists he's unsure of what to anticipate from the West Indies.
I think, in some ways, not overly sure what to expect. Even a couple of years back when we played these guys in Australia, it's about half the squad weren't there. It's a new squad, so like I said, I like that part of kind of Test cricket. You got to problem solve really quickly when you're out there. But they've got some class fast bowlers. Obviously, a new captain as well. So you don't always know what to expect.
The West Indies have named their squad, with batsmen Shea Hope and John Campbell returning to Test cricket, and Brandon King set to make his Test debut. Head coach Darren Sammy has gone with 3 speedsters in Alzari Joseph, Shamar Joseph and Jaden Seals, while the spinning options are vice-captain Jomel Warrican and Chase. It will be the first match of the new World Test Championship cycle, and the West Indies will be looking to repeat their famous win at the Gabba back in January. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
As the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Community Empowerment continues its mandate of reaching at least 6,000 young people through their block transformation program, they have launched the Block T20 tournament slated for July 16th through to the big final on August 21st. Minister Charles Griffith says not only is it a competition to unearth new talent, but there is the hope of using it as the impetus to revive the struggling Barbados Cricket League.
There's a mixture of individuals involved in the process. We will be having youngsters from all of the blocks across the 11 parishes in Barbados, but also as part of the team, the composition of the team will be made up of some players who would have experienced cricket at a totally different level before. One of the things that we're hoping for with that particular aspect of the competition is that those senior cricketers will provide a kind of mentorship role to the youngsters who we are incorporating into the teams. This competition is one that we believe will redound to the benefit not only of the youngsters who are involved in the process, but the communities from which they're drawn from and the parishes from which they will emerge.
Well, the top prize is $10,000 to the winning team, and there's also the individual incentive of player scholarships. The players' development will go beyond the field of play and will also incorporate sessions in life skills, financial literacy, anger management, conflict resolution, and leadership.
Every single team that is involved in the process, there will be a $2,000 scholarship for one of the players who is on that team for them to pursue additional education at any of the training institutions on island. So that $2,000 will be provided to one member who will be selected by probably the team and maybe members of the community. We're not sure how that will work out as yet, but what is guaranteed is that a $2,000 scholarship will be made available.
Well, former Barbados and West Indies cricketer Courtney Brown is the director of the tournament, which will be played in a round-robin format, and while it is set to start next month, they've already been in the communities doing the groundwork.
We have been to all the parishes across Barbados. We actually started the program already, so we actually have certain communities practicing. We're down, we're at Hoardersill, we're Eden Lodge. We're in a number of communities across Barbados, but what we are looking to do now that we're coming to the tournament, we're actually looking to go further across Barbados, and meaning that instead of being in one particular community in Barbados, we want to go to a number of communities across the parishes.
And the good news is that matches will be played at various venues across the island.
The Business Report, brought to you by the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme, a department of the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, supporting young entrepreneurs from idea to enterprise.
New accounts for participants should set the tone for the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme's Summer Camp 2025. It is among the initiatives on the cards for the upcoming event, scheduled to start next month. Today, YES officials were busy in their Sky Mall Hackett Hall office, fine-tuning details of the wide-ranging program with stakeholders and other interested parties. Outside the session, our Trevor Thorpe chatted with some of the YES officials.
A momentous occasion for the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme. And ahead of celebrations for its 30th anniversary, it has partnered with Republic Bank for its Entrepreneurship Summer Camp, which will run from July 21st to August 22nd. Participants of the YES Summer Camp will be given starter accounts. Acting Manager Ryan Mosley and YES Director Cleviston Hunt were both upbeat as they discussed the program and what the camp holds for participants.
Very importantly, Republic Bank has also asked YES to give up 2 spaces within the program where their officials will come in to talk about general financial literacy, money management issues, savings, and they have been gracious in that they will offer the 70 participants a starter account with $50 each to get them on their road to saving and financial literacy. So we're extremely pleased to have Republic Bank this year as our strategic partner for the YES Entrepreneurship Camp.
The YES official, in welcoming the bank, contended that the financial institution will add depth to the wide and varied program awaiting participants.
This year, the 2025 version of YES Summer Enterprise Program, we are pleased to welcome the Republic Bank as a strategic partner in the execution of the YES Summer Enterprise Program. We had some preliminary discussions with officials of the bank. We sent them a proposal of the entire camp. We made some suggestions about how their sponsorship can aid in the rollout and the successful execution of the camp. They have accepted and they have agreed to be a strategic partner this year. So this year we are pleased to welcome the Republic Bank as a strategic partner in YES's Summer Enterprise Program for the camp, which will run from July 21st to August 22nd, 2025.
Director Hunt says it is a flagship program and an investment in this country's youth by government.
Every year we have issues in relation to selections of schools. There are also issues in relation to selecting camp assistants, issues in relation to providing directors who have the adequate number of skills, because what we want is to ensure that we have persons there who can provide the kind of nurturing environment that is required for the children to learn. Another issue obviously is our financing. What we want is for persons within communities to come on board with us to help provide not only skills but also the kinds of finances also that will expose the children to the kinds of experiences that will allow them to grow and to develop.
The YES director also looked at some of the things that will be getting the attention of the resource persons as well as the participants during the camp.
We are looking to expose the children to arts, to crafts, to some of the new things like the robotics, science and technology. I have to add also too that the camps are also inclusive because we have a number of It's not only for the persons who are quote-unquote normal, but we have also included persons with special needs as part of our camp program as well.
The Yes Summer Camp will be made up of classroom hands-on sessions and field trips, which will run for 5 weeks. Trevor Thorpe for the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme's Business Report.
A profound honor to step into this new role. That's how new president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Barbados, Damien Skeet, responded to his elevation at the end of the recently held 51st Annual General Meeting. The new president and assurance partner at Skeet Best & Company has over 15 years' experience across business sectors such as hospitality, international business, public services, manufacturing, and non-profit organizations. An active member of the ICAOB's Future Tech Committee, he was first appointed to the ICAOB Council in 2019. A fellow of the ACCA, he has also served as the body's International Assembly's representative for Barbados from 2018 to 2024. Congratulations to you.
Sports Night, brought to you with the compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Mega XL.
Damien is back for the second half of sports. Hey, Damien.
Yeah, thanks so much, Tisha. Harrison College will battle Christchurch Foundation for the girls' title in tomorrow's National Sports Council Secondary Schools volleyball competition. They won their respective semi-finals at the St. Michael's School Auditorium. Who's up for some volleyball action? St. Michael's School Auditorium, the venue, the Lord School in blue and white versus Harrison College, Point HC. Very next play, they would give the point back to the Lord School. All power, no placement. Back and forth in the early stages of this one. The serve problematic for Lucilla Dalloway. HC would take the first set at 25-17, too close to the net and punished. Let's go to the second. Change of ends. The serve of Talia Sandiford should be studied. She rattled off 6 straight points, and the Lord School couldn't catch a break. However, the girls from Assay Street finally broke that sequence with good defense followed by some luck. Miscommunication, ball lands in space. One of the best rallies of the encounter. The Lord School having to scramble, giving their team a great chance to win the point, but the error spoils the cliffhanger. Point to HC. Sure enough, Harrison College will go on to wrap up the victory in 2 straight over the Lord School. 25-17, 25-17. Next showdown featuring host St. Michael's School versus Christchurch Foundation in black. Sienna Hall off the edge for SMS, that's a kill. And how about this for placement? Hall on a roll. But Foundation showed they were up for the challenge, extended the rally. Who's going to blink first? Big time block from the Lone Ranger at the net, Gabrielle Sandiford. That paved the way for Foundation to edge past their rivals, who were now starting to feel the pressure. However, SMS rediscovered their form as the first set went down to the wire. Point in the front court. Foundation, though, would hold on to edge SMS in the first set, 25-22. Switch of ends for the second. Intensity turned up a notch. Everybody on their P's and Q's. The double block, not enough to stop Aja Bryce. More of the good stuff. Shantae Gill for CCFS. The off-speed delivery to lock the score at 9 apiece. SMS trying to swing the pendulum in their favor. That's an ace. Then the misfire from the visitors, way too long. 14-9 the scoreline. Skip ahead deep in the second. CCFS trying to find the ingredients for a resurgence. No dig. Point to the girls from Churchill. Imagine being up 22-18 and watching that advantage dwindle away. Nervous times for SMS. And the worst scenario was becoming a reality. Foundation were about to pull off a brilliant comeback to secure the match. Leading 25-24. This is set and match point. Hold your breath. What a tremendous fight. Well deserved. Christchurch Foundation defeating the St. Michael's School 25-22, 26-24 to reach the final. Well, top Barbados and world #1 women's road tennis player Kim Holder is off to Canada at the invitation of the United Road Tennis and Coaching Incorporated. It's an organization run by Barbadian Stephen Griffith, which promotes the island's indigenous sport in that country. Holder's trip, dubbed Barbados Toronto 2025 Road Tennis Journey, is part of her being the reigning champion of the Queen of the South competition, in which Griffith is a major sponsor. Speaking to CBC Sports from Canada, he says it is important to show how involved the females are in the sport.
Well, I want from Kim to be showcasing Barbados' #1 female thing. I want you to actually to be an ambassador for tennis, for road tennis. And my hope is to let people from all regions know that it doesn't matter if you're a male, female, don't matter your size, your age, that you can be what Kim is, which is the #1 in the world. We actually have a family day picnic on the 6th of July, which would have a small semi-professional setting, which would be a competition, road tennis competition. And I bring her to some communities, which would be in the Scarborough area and Pickering. Also, we're hoping to work with some organizations in the Mississauga area, which is the Peel District.
Well, prior to departing the island today, Holder told CBC Sports she wants to use this opportunity to not only showcase her skills and experience, but to further boost the sport in Canada.
It's a great opportunity at least to get the sport at least push a little bit more or further in. I feel that we can do more to get it out there. Like, my idea possibly is to get more competition, probably do a little competition overseas to exploit it more.
Holder's tour of Canada will run until July 7th. Well, UWI Blackbirds were runaway winners over Spooners Hill Firebirds when the Dasani Power 8 BNA Premier League continued last night. Playing at Friendship, the Blackbirds never trailed, leading all quarters 14-6, 21-11, 35-14 before closing out the match 42-20. Spooners Hill Firebirds in the orange versus UWI Blackbirds. Friendship the venue. Blackbirds engine room firing from early movement from midcourt and around the circle. Effective goal attack. Brianna Holder benefiting from the obstruction call and converts. Holder sank 15 of her 19 attempts. The Blackbirds rampant to say the least in the first quarter, up 14-6. Goal shooter Shanika Wharton missing from 5 feet. Holder on cleanup duties. The Firebirds trailing by 10 goals after 2 quarters, 11-21, taking too long to find a rhythm. When the ball was in their possession, goal shooter Chantel Brathwaite finishing with 9 from 15 attempts, and goal attack Emisha Barrow 9 from 23. The Blackbirds having lots to smile about with the assignment almost over and 2 more quarters to focus on. Let's head to the second half. Change of ends. Blackbirds in flight. Renia Eiffel and Carla Boyce getting some court time. Eiffel at goal attack, knocking down 1 of her 5 goals. Things looking really good for the Blackbirds, increasing their advantage 35-14 in the third. The Firebirds just going through the motions. At this point, Barrow sinks 1, hoping to start a mini run. But the Blackbirds defense was stifling, and that translated into some easy looks under the cup. Boys getting on the score sheet. Blackbirds win easy in the end, 42-20 over the Firebirds. And that is my time for sports tonight. Tisha, it is over to you.
Hey, thank you so much, Damien. And that's a wrap on Newsnight. Thank you so much for spending the time with us. On behalf of the entire crew, do enjoy the rest of your night.